Landscape. In China, landscape painting has for centuries been one of the most prominent forms of art. In Europe, however, its history has been more uneven. It was often used in the decoration of ancient Roman building, but then lost popularity until the Middle Ages. During the 16th century, it began to develop into an independent specialty for artists, and eventually attained widespread importance in the 17th century. The Impressionists, in the 19th century, helped to turn landscape into one of the most popular branches of all art. Pygmies hunting, from the Casa del Dottore, House of the Doctor, Roman this fresco, depicting exotic pygmies is one of many landscape scenes. The Nile setting adds to the exoticism of the work. 126 by 74 centimeters, Museo Archeologico Nazionale, Naples, Italy. Landscape with bathers Antonio Carracci. This landscape was once attributed to Agostino Carracci, but is now thought to be by his illegitimate son Antonio. C. 1615, oil on canvas, 32x 34 centimeters, Palazzo Pitti, Florence, Italy. Herdsman with cows, Albert Quip Quip's depictions of his native Holland, often bathed in warm sunlight, were influenced by the work the French painter Claude, late 1660, oil on Eve, 99x 14 centimeters, Dulwich Picture Gallery, London, UK. Willows and distant mountains, Ma Yuan, monochrome images with calligraphic brushwork, are characteristic of landscape paintings of this period. Mountains, as symbols of stability, were favorite subjects. Song Dynasty, 960-1279, ink and watercolor on silk, private collection. March, peasants at work on a feudal estate. Limbourg Brothers. This detailed pastoral scene comes from the Trace Riches Ars du Duc de Berry, one of the most beautiful of all illuminated manuscripts. C. 1414-1418, Vellum, Musée Condé, Chantilly, France. Wooded landscape with a cottage, sheep, and a reclining shepherd. Thomas Gainsborough's pastoral landscapes combine his idiosyncratic vision with the influence of Rubens. C. 1748-50, oil on canvas, 43 by 54 centimeters. Yale Center for British Art, Paul Mellom Collection, U.S. A cottage in a cornfield. John Constable's quintessentially English landscapes were often ensowed by Dedham Vale, the area in which he grew up. 1817, oil on canvas, 32 by 26 centimeters. National Museum, Cardiff, UK. Wheatfield with cypresses. Vincent van Gogh. The urgent brushwork and bold colors of Van Gogh's landscapes combine his love of Japanese art with his understanding of Impressionism. 1889, oil on canvas, 72 by 91 centimeters, National Gallery, London, UK. Drifting Smoke. Fred Williams. The remoteness of the Australian outback vividly expressed in this painting. 1981, oil on canvas, 152x 183 centimeters, National Gallery of Victoria, Melbourne, Australia. Western Hills. Graham Sutherland. The English artist often uses abstract forms to lend his landscapes a surreal, dreamlike quality. 1938-41, oil on canvas, 56x 91 centimeters, Scottish National Gallery of Modern Art, Edinburgh, UK. Haystack. Hazy Sunshine. Claude Monet. His series of haystack paintings helped Monet to develop his masterful treatment of light. 1891, oil on canvas, 60x 101 cm, private collection. Akayambi. Frederick Edwin. Church panoramic landscapes are bold celebrations of the majesty of nature. 1858, oil on canvas, 76x 122 cm, collection of the New York Historical Society, U.S. Mont Saint-Victoire. Paul Cézanne. Mont Saint-Victoire was a frequent subject of Cézanne's. His radical approach to form influenced Cubism. C. 1900, oil on canvas, 18 by 99 centimeters. Hermitage, St. Petersburg, Russia. An angler. Tarsila do Amaral. The bold colors and shapes of Amaral's landscapes were a cornerstone of Brazilian modernism. C. 1925, oil on canvas, 66 by 75 centimeters. Hermitage, St. Petersburg, Russia. Wessex Flint Line. Richard Long. The English land artist's sculptures are an expression of his personal relationship to walking in landscapes. 1987, Flint, 1130 by 160 centimeters, Southampton City Art Gallery, UK.
What do I do? And I said, well, we can look at landscape paintings. How about that? Look at this great painting, the oxbow. Over on the right side, there's a whole mess of agricultural practices and logging and all sorts of other things. And over here is not that is a change. And I was like, that says it right there. They do stuff right to the edge. And I took this idea to some art historians, and they're like, no, that's crazy, man. You can't do that. That's totally against the rules. This painting is super complex. Over on the left side, we have the sublime nature of wilderness. That's the exciting, dangerous part of wilderness that brings us towards this wonderful sense of adventure. But over on the right side is our manifest destiny. You can see ferries moving over there, and the umbrellas point in that direction, and there's trains heading that direction. And back in that clear-cut area, if you see that from God's perspective, it's the Hebrew word of God, and that's where we're supposed to be going. They're like, don't you know anything about art history? Haven't you read Panofsky's Iconology? And I'm like, no, I have no idea what that is. So we opened that up. Oh, and he said, oh, here's the artist staring back at us, asking us who we are. This is full of symbols, but it starts with the form, and then it has all sorts of stories on top of that, and from that we can get some kind of idea of symbology, right? So let's take a look at this iconology and what that means. There's the three steps: the form, the stories, and the symbology. Let's start with the form, a couple of naked people. And the person on the right is holding this cornucopia, and the person on the left is holding a bunch of paper. It turns out the one on the right is fortune, one on the left is luck. Luck's got his toe jammed in that bubble that she's sitting on, and she's going to drop everything, because that's how it works. That's the story behind it. Like, okay, well, let's just look at the form itself, right? Let's look at what the basis of this is. So here's Monet looking at stuff that he sees along this beach, and that's his painting, okay? So from the painting, there's this artistic license. There's this gauze that the artist looks over, just irregardless of the symbolism. So let's look closer at that form. That's the thing. So here's Christina's world. This is Andrew Wyeth's neighbor. He's looking out his window, seeing his neighbor Christina, who's paralyzed, and that grass area is the place that she could crawl, but she could crawl out of that and look back on her world. That makes it a really powerful image. That is what he saw, and he put the story on top of that. So, okay, let's look at the form again. So we're going to look at the oxbow here, and a photo of 1900, and the painting's at 1836. So there's the real thing. That's what Thomas Cole saw, and he put a little bit of his artistic license and told that story of manifest destiny and the sublime yada yada on top of that. But what I'm interested in is the form behind it. So here let's separate the stories and the allegories and the symbolism from the form behind it. There's our friend Fortune again, holding her stuff. There's a broken plow. We peel that away, and what we see behind it is agricultural practices in 1900, wall to wall, no habitat, all sorts of plowing. That's the thing I'm interested in seeing. So how do we link science and art together? So this is what we're doing this weekend, cleaning our eaves. If we don't clean our eaves, they'll all start to rot, and then they'll form this primary conditions. And then if we don't clean that, we get annual plants. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen it. Here's the problem. If you don't clean that out, it turns into perennial plants with some roots in it, and will start to tear apart your roof, and then shade-intolerant trees will grow on it, and eventually shade-tolerant trees, and your house will turn into an archaeological, antiquated piece of relic. Now, that's something that we can see in our own home and around us, but let's go back to the art. So here's Thomas Cole and some other folks painting the Colosseum, and we can see that same process, the same ecological process occurring and captured by these artists. A botanist went and did a survey of the Colosseum in 1850, found 420 different plants growing on that thing. Since then, they've all been cleaned out to make it into the tourist trap that it is today. But so if we look at now, let's put these two together. Let's put the science and the art together. We have this palace in 1750s, and they manipulated the river and changed it around. There's the same palace and the same river, and you see the same change. It's super hard to find paintings in the exact same place. That's really hard to do. But we can see this. This could be anywhere in Montana or anywhere in the East Coast. We got cows and rivers and impoundments behind that. That happens today. My neighbor over in the Jefferson River said, I don't know why you people talk about cows affecting rivers. Those cows have been in that river for 100 years. It hasn't changed a bit. It's true. About 101 years ago, it looked different. So that's what they caught there. Here in this climate change, this is a painting of the Thames Frost Fair in the 1600s. And the last time the Thames froze enough for people to go on it and have a big party was 1820. So this was capturing something that is lost to us in these paintings. And then we look at this one here, we see all the way back to the 1560s. This is agricultural practice. You can see this little critter hiding in the bushes here and a couple of other birds, but all the habitat has been gone. That habitat's been gone since 1500s. Right? This is the kind of influence that humans have